Hello! So I have here different kinds of watercolor brush markers, and I really wanted to see what is the difference in the brush itself, how the brush feels, and if they are all soluble. And I also wanted to talk about the ways how these markers are being used and how I am actually using them, because a lot of people use them just like regular alcohol markers and they do not use water at all, but these are water soluble markers, so why not use water with them? So let's start with the test and see how these tips feel. So I have here Ohuhu, Arteza, Amazon Basic, let's take then the Tombow, Graph-O, I think it's Graph-O, not sure, and Faber-Castell, Albrecht. So this one is the most expensive one because one piece costs €3.90, something like that, so they are really expensive. So let's just start and see how they perform, how they react with the water. And yeah, I will put them on this side, better for me to organize, and just to see how the tip feels. So they all have, as I said, a brush tip, and maybe I will zoom in a little bit just to have a better look at everything. So let's just start, and I will immediately use some water to see how this color moves, and if we are able to get rid of the line where we stopped coloring with the marker. Sorry for that. So the next one is going to be Arteza, and I immediately see that the tip from Arteza is much sharper, it's really sharp, this tip, than the one from the Ohuhu, and the brush feels really soft, I would say. Maybe too soft for my taste. Let's see. We can move this one around. Yeah, it is a little bit more difficult than the Ohuhu one. But again, just to show you, you see the tip. And this was the tip from Ohuhu. Okay, let's continue. So now we have Amazon Basics, these ones. I love these ones. They are a little bit scratchy. Do you hear that? So when you use them, they are scratchy. So the next one is the, no, let's just take another look at the, it was scratchy, as I said. It's not so sharp as the one from the Arteza, but it does look a little bit, it looks better than the one from Ohuhu, that for sure. So here I have my Tombow. Yeah, this one is also scratchy. I don't have a darker color from Tombow because I have the pastel set. But this tip was really scratchy, almost the same as the Amazon Basic. Then I have the Graph-O. Yeah, this one is also scratchy. And also it feels the same. It feels almost the same as the Tombow and the Amazon Basics. Ah, this is nice. I love these nice saturated colors. And the last one is the Faber-Castell. Whoa, this one is thick. It already, you can see that the brush is much thicker than the other markers. Oh yeah, and it does feel different. It's not so scratchy, but it is also not really, how to say it? Oh, this is nice. Look at this color. So I will just let that dry for a little bit. And I think I will open all of them and test them all at the same time, because otherwise I do forget the feel. When you use 6 different brush markers, you do forget how the first one felt. So now I opened all of them, and I will just put some lines here and see how. Okay. This one is really, you can make such nice lines. This one can go even further. Then this one. Oh no! Oops! It happens. Okay. And the last one. There is, I don't know if you can see how wet this is. There is so much color coming out from this one. Okay, so I do have to say all of them, except for the Arteza one, feel similar. The difference is with the Arteza one, because I'm not quite sure what kind of brush this is, but you can really press a lot of down, you see? Oh, now I get it. Now I get it. Do you see this? I have to zoom in. Hope you will be able to see now. Do you see how brush goes? You see this? So this is like a real brush. So the name from Arteza, the real brush markers, it does stand to its name. This is a real brush. So it does look and feel like a real brush. The other ones, the other markers, they are brush markers, but this is not like a real brush. So these small hairs, this will not go like a brush in a different directions. You will not be able to make these broad lines, because so it's not made from a lot of small hairs. So you are only if you tilt your if you tilt your pen like this, then you will be able to make some broader lines. Maybe I will just write here the names. I forgot to do that. So first we had Ohuhu. Then we have the Arteza. Then there was Amazon Basics. Oh no, really? Yeah, it was Amazon Basics. Then there was Tombow. After that it was carefool. And the other one, the last one, is the Faber-Castell. So I would say if you want to put like really thin lines, then the Arteza one is the one to go, because with this one you can really make some really nice thin lines. With other ones you could also make them, but you do have to be careful because it's not so easy. You have to be careful of the pressure you're putting down, but with Arteza you really have a nice tip. You see these lines? See how thin this is? So you're not able to get this with other markers. Now let's just try and see which one of these we can reactivate. From like here, Ohuhu. The color is moving, but not a lot, but it's still, it does move. The Arteza. Yeah, this is something I also saw in my review of the Arteza markers. It does move, but much harder, but it moves. Still it moves to some extent. The Amazon Basics. Okay, this one is also moving nicely. I don't have a lot of space here, that was my mistake. Okay. Tombow. It is a really bright color, but you can still see that the color is reactivating. The carefool. Yeah, it does work, it does work. And the last one is Faber-Castell. And this is something I noticed during my review, that it is a little bit difficult to reactivate the Faber-Castell. I see that I'm already dissolving some of the paper. So let's take a look. You see these bubbles? This is already, I did move some spots of the paper here. So let's first look at this line, at the line where I stopped coloring with my marker. And I do have to say the winner is Faber-Castell, so there is no doubt about that, because you almost don't see the line where I stopped coloring with it, with the marker. And then I would say the Amazon Basic and the Tombow are quite similar. You do see a little bit of the line, but not so much. The next one was carefool. I was actually also here. The line is still visible, but not so much. The ones with the hardest line are the Arteza and the Ohuhu. And when I was already coloring something with Arteza, I did notice that I was not able to move the color so much, and that is something that I personally do not like. Yeah, you can see here that I did start to destroy the paper here already. I was lifting up the paper. So Faber-Castell is the one where you cannot reactivate the color so well. You can, but not so well that you get like this clean line, as you can see here with the carefool, with the Tombow, Amazon Basics, also with Arteza. There is still line here visible, not like with Amazon Basics and Tombow. You almost do not see, or here you do not see any line, so the color was reactivated completely. With Arteza you can still see here where the line was. And Ohuhu was also really good. It did reactivate the color. So let's take a look at how these watercolor markers can be applied on the paper. Let's say like this. You have a small circle. I think I will use the circle, yes. Let's say you have a circle. what a lot of people do is, I will have to use two different brands because right now I don't have the colors here, but what I noticed and saw is that a lot of people will do following. They will put the bright color here, then they will put the darker one, then they will put again the brighter one, they will go over it and try to dissolve this, then they will put again the darker one, and again the brighter. So this is something that I really do not understand. Like, you are using these markers as normal alcohol markers, and the way how they were meant to be used is like this. You can put a little bit of that color there. If you want, you can put a little bit of this color here, and then what you do, you take your brush and then you move this color around. See this? If you see that it is not dark enough, you can, if you need, you can still go inside with the brush marker and make it even darker. But of course, if you are using a lot of water, maybe a watercolor paper would have been better, or some mixed media paper for this technique. You can lift the color up. So if it was too dark, you can go in again with your brush and lift some of that color up. So that way you really can get these brighter parts and your darker parts. With this one, in order to get rid of the lines, you are going over again and again and again with the marker, and that way, you are also wasting, I would say you are wasting your markers. Let's do another one, because I did use less color there. So let's say we are going like this, the same as before. If you do want to have it darker, this. And now, instead of going over it like 10,000 times, you just take your brush and you blend your colors. You see how easy this is? And then again here, I want to have it lighter, because in this case you are not able to make it lighter. If you are using it like a normal alcohol marker, and once you go over it, you will be like, oh no, now it's too dark, I cannot do anything. Yeah, because you are not using your brush. In this way, when you are using water, you can lift as much as you want. Here I'm making like a half circle. You see? So for me, this way of using watercolor brush markers, okay, if you want to use it like that, I'm not saying anything, use it. In my opinion, this is more the way how to use it. So with the water and with the brush. Using them like alcohol markers, I mean, you can still achieve really nice colorings, but if you have alcohol markers, then don't use these ones as alcohol. Try using them with water, and maybe you will like it even more. How should I draw? Let's just, I don't know, just like so. You see how fast this is going? And yeah, this is why I like the watercolor brush markers, and why I prefer, and I'm looking for the ones where you can dissolve these lines, because otherwise, as it was with the case with Arteza, where I was putting like more color, like in this case, and I was not able to move the color around completely, and that is something that I do not like, because I'm using the watercolor markers in this way. Yeah, so if I want to use them like this, then I am going to use my alcohol markers, so there is no way to use the watercolor brush markers. But again, if you prefer to use them like that, please do it. It's your choice. So these are Ohuhu, Arteza, and Amazon Basic. These are the budget ones, so they are all cheap. I think Ohuhu you get like even 60 pieces, something like that, for maybe 20 euros. With Arteza you get about around 40 for 20 euros, and Amazon Basic, I also think you have the set of 40 something for around 20 euros, something like that. And these ones are the more expensive ones. The Faber-Castell, of course, this one is also light fast, so you even if you use this one, you can sell your work. All of these other ones, they do not have light fastness rating. I'm actually not sure about the Tombow, because I do not see it, not even on the marker or on the package. But with the Faber-Castell, you can see here immediately, there it is, 3 stars, means the highest light rating. Yeah, so for my personal taste, I would prefer the Amazon Basics, because I really like how the color moves around and how I can reactivate the color. The Arteza one is good, as I said, if you are drawing or painting something where you do have to use really thin lines. The Ohuhu ones are medium, like they're okay. You will not go wrong if you want to try the brush markers, watercolor brush markers. And then we have these 3. With this one, I would really buy it only if you are planning to sell your work. Otherwise, I don't think it's necessary to have this one. The Tombow and Graph-O, they are both really nice, and they look similar. You can dissolve the color similar. Even the lines, they look almost the same. So they are just let's say they're more expensive, but I don't know if I can, yeah, because they dissolve a little bit better than the budget ones, so that's why they are a little bit better. But still, if you are starting out, all 3 of these ones are really good. My personal taste would be the Amazon Basics. I like how they dissolve, how I can reactivate the color. With Arteza one, I was coloring something, I can show it here, and I was not really able to get rid of a lot of these lines, so that is something not my taste. And these were the Amazon Basics. As you can see here, I was able to move the color almost completely, so it dissolved with the other colors. So I really like the Amazon Basics ones. And yeah, so that was my short review or comparison. As I said, my personal taste again, I would, from the budget ones, this one would be, I don't know, I do not like the Arteza one, but I would do say that they are better than the Ohuhu ones. And then we have the Tombow, Graph-O, and Faber-Castell. These, as I said, only if you are going to sell your work. Otherwise, I do not think it's necessary. You can reactivate a little bit harder the color. As you can see here, it dissolved completely. Here I almost already lifted up the paper, So, and between the carefool and Tombow, I would actually prefer the carefool ones. Yeah, so thank you again for watching, and see you next time. Bye.